Just this past week, we watched the 2023 Game Awards. Now, I know, we saw a ton of games announced, but there was one game that really stuck out to us, and that's the game EXOBORNE. On stream, we were blown away by it. So much so that the developers actually reached out to us, which brings us to today's video. Now, before we get to unpacking everything, if you've already watched this trailer, feel free to skip to the timestamp below, as we're gonna get right into breaking things down. But if you have not, watch this right now.
Where you at? Did you get it?
Working on it.
Extraction inbound. Good to go?
Easy in, easy out.
That's our ride.
All right, so the first question we had for the developers, what the hell is EXOBORNE? It is a tactical, open-world extraction shooter. Now, I don't know about you guys, but we are getting extraction shooters left and right. Even though the day before it flopped, it's apparent that there is a trend here. Marathon is also coming out in the next few years. Arc Raiders is slated to be coming out in 2024. Needless to say, there is a desire for high-quality extraction shooters. Now, EXOBORNE does not currently have a scheduled release date, or at least one we could share with you yet. We also can't share gameplay, which I wish we could right now, but I promise you we will, at least once we're past embargo dates. For the time being though, we can go over some exclusive details about EXOBORNE. First up, I want to talk about the developers. EXOBORNE is being developed in collaboration between Shark Mob Studios and Level Infinite. Now, Level Infinite is a third-party studio. They often partner with other studios to produce games, and they already have quite a few games they've helped create, most notably Synced, GTFO, V Rising, and PUBG Mobile. Now, a lot of their experience is actually developing mobile games. Now listen, don't fret, EXOBORNE is going to be on consoles and PC. I'm just giving you the background here of Level Infinite. Now, Shark Mob Studios, this is the driving force behind development of EXOBORNE. They have a rich history and a sizable workforce with over 400 plus employees. This is by no means some indie developer. They've got AAA resources at their disposal. Now, the studio is relatively new, founded in 2017 in Malmö, Sweden by former developers from IO Interactive. Oh yeah, those guys. Anybody here play Hitman? What's even more interesting is the other developers are from Ubisoft Massive, who are directly responsible for The Division. And look, we've seen studios like this come together. It's like developers break off. They're like, yo, we want to do our own thing. We have a vision. And you see it there with Embark Studios, as a number of the developers are ex-DICE devs, hence the destructible environments in the finals. I cannot express how important the talent is when it comes to creating anything, but especially the games. You gotta have the developers there who know what the hell they're doing. Now, the current CEO of Shark Mob is Frederick Runn, who was the executive producer for The Division, which we're going to talk about a little more later. In 2019, Shark Mob was acquired by Tencent, though. Now, the amount, we don't know. But in 2022, they released their first game, Blood Hunt. Blood Hunt is a vampire battle royale. It says with mostly positive reviews on Steam, and it was made in Unreal Engine 5, which, by the way, all of their future titles will be using Unreal Engine 5. And I know, like, everything seems to be Unreal Engine 5 these days, but when you see games like Finals and others that are popping off with Unreal Engine 5, how can you not want to use this, right? Now, Shark Mob currently has two studios. One is based in Sweden, which is developing EXOBORNE. Another is based in London, which is currently working on an unannounced title. But this takes us to EXOBORNE. What the hell is this game supposed to be? Narratively, this game takes place in Colton County, kind of close to my neck of the woods, man. This is in the southeastern portion of the United States, and its region has essentially been torn apart by the forces of nature, that being giant storms, lightning strikes, tornadoes, all that good jazz, which is why that was the main focal point of the trailer. Now, you, the player, are one of the Reborn, which are survivors of the collapse, equipped with futuristic exo rigs that grant the user special abilities. Wow, Cross, that sounds like Anthem. Look, say what you want to say about Anthem. It was actually a good game. It just had no direction, and then it had no end game. But the gameplay was solid, man. Now, as a Reborn, you will fight against farming factions, elemental chaos, and other hostile Reborn. The game's lore will directly influence the story and gameplay, and in summary, EXOBORNE is an apocalyptic power fantasy game. Now, each exo rig offers different playstyles, which we get to see in the trailer. One rig, though, deploys an energy shield to block a telekinetic punch from another rig. We see a grappling hook used as well, and it's already been alluded to us that there will be a subclass system. Now, SharkMob let us know that what EXOBORNE will really try to feature is unique vertical gameplay. If that gives you an idea of what the possibilities will be with these exo rigs. And you can even see it here in Blood Hunt, the previous game, which takes place on the streets and the rooftops of Prague, which is really cool because it allows players to traverse the environment at several elevations. But I feel like EXOBORNE, at least what's been alluded to us, is that elevation, that level, that verticality is going to be raised much more. Now, in addition to abilities, players will be able to upgrade, customize, and craft their gear and weapons. And again, that's the gameplay loop here, right? You go out in the wild, you slay things, you take that gear back, you craft it into better gear, and then you go back out stronger and better. But unlike many other extraction shooters, SharkMob actually stated that they want EXOBORNE to have long-term progression. And this is where you start to see the Division roots showing its face. You see, what a lot of people don't understand is that the Division was essentially the very first extraction shooter. Yeah, you could play single player and with your friends, progress through story and missions, or you could enter the Dark Zone, which is a high-risk, high-reward PvE, PvP environment, which in a lot of ways embodies the modern gameplay loop present in almost all extraction shooters today. Now, what the Dark Zone gave here is pretty much infinite replayability. Snowstorms would completely transform the downtown streets of Manhattan. Combined with the constant threat posed by high-level enemies and players, the in-game loot grind was unlike anything offered by other games at the time. Most extraction shooters today completely avoid in-game progression with resets, wiping all player accounts after a set length of time. Now, some people love this. This means you pretty much start from scratch. But if you're a Destiny player, dude, you hate your stuff getting reset. Nobody likes sunsetting. And we're okay with high risk, but it's that guaranteed reset that can be a turnoff. The exclusive information that's been provided to us by SharkMob seemed to emphasize that long-term progression. Essentially, no server resets. Now, I don't know how this is going to work out. I know that EXOBORNE will have co-op missions, they'll have public events, you could play it solo or with a team of up to 3. There will be PvP and PvE, but it's interesting because here's the kicker. PvP will always be enabled. Nowhere is safe. You're over there chilling in a public event, somebody shows up, you better get ready, man. Either make friends quick or start blasting. And as we know, it's always better to just start blasting. Now, SharkMob did mention there will be vehicles, so eventually players will be able to traverse the map even quicker. And they specifically stated that there are other modes of transportation that will make the game unique. Now, considering that, this makes me think that the world is going to be pretty large. There's no way they're going to give us a number of means of transportation and make the map small. And it's going to have to be big, with danger lurking around every corner. And that was one of the strong points for the Division, was its size and the detailed environments. The streets felt lived in, but also recently abandoned. Whereas by contrast, the day before, which we recently endured, completely fell flat in this category. They literally had ambient gunshot sounds to give you the illusion that the world was actually dangerous, when in fact there was no one in the world. You were happy when you saw a zombie. But given the developers that are working here on EXOBORNE, I have high hopes. And I don't want to like overhype anything. And yes, as we get closer and closer to playing this game with all of you, and when we can actually start sharing gameplay, I think EXOBORNE here has something for all of us. What SharkMob really wanted to show off in this trailer was the environment. And this gives you an idea of what we're going to expect in the game. Quote, man-made structures and the land itself will be heavily affected by storms, tornadoes, etc. You see, at one time, guys, I thought destructible environments was just something only DICE could pull off. And you see a few games trying to do it, but then they fall flat. But Unreal Engine 5 in the finals has shown me that there is another element to gameplay that I never thought possible. You want to level that building? Dude, level it. You want to make the area so damn foggy that you can't even see in front of you? You better hope you got a build that allows you to see the enemies there. If EXOBORNE is really looking to take advantage of all these things, destructible environments, dynamic weather systems, this is what will make every encounter feel fresh. So guys, that is all the information we can share as of now. The extraction shooter genre is getting jam-packed with major competitors. And it's a genre I didn't know I was going to actually be getting involved in until, of course, Marathon was revealed to us. But it's really important to me to actually play a number of different extraction shooters, to develop a base, a benchmark, if you will, so that when all the cards are on the table and all the competitors are there in front of us, we can draw conclusions on which one really is the best. I think EXOBORNE here has an incredible studio behind them. I think the narrative is interesting enough. It's going to really come down to the gameplay itself. That right there is what will hook us. In the meantime, guys, if you're interested in this game, you can wishlist it on Steam. You can also join them on any of their social medias and just be looking out. It may not be that far into the future when you can snag beta access. Hands, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.